Right. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to boot camp. Coach Jazzi here, and I'm going to go ahead and bring us through today's workout. So for today, we are going to be having a theme again. So it is Dia de los Muertos today, so we're going to be selling out spirits. We're going to do 45, 15. We are going to do 3 rounds of work. And I'm going to go ahead real quick with my demos, and then we'll get into our warm up. So starting off here for the first S, so we are spelling out spirits. So we're doing a plural, so there's going to be 7 movements. So I'm going to try and move this as quickly as possible so we can have time to cool down. So for the first S, we're going to do a staggered squat. We're going to do all of this on one leg because for the second S, we're going to do it again. So that kind of takes away that one. So we're going to do staggered squats, so all of our weight in one of our feet. We can line up our toe in the middle of the arch of our other foot, or you can have it slightly back. But I do like, personally, I like it when it's right under my hip, but you can figure out what works best for you. Squatting down and then again pushing through just the one leg. So we're going to do our staggered squat. You can choose whichever leg to start with. And then we're going to get onto the ground. We're going to do a plank to pike toe tap. So starting on our hands and toes, exhaling up, tapping our opposite toe, and back to the ground. It's going to be the P. And then for the first I, we're going to go right into an inchworm. So this one, I don't have a push-up in here, but if you want to challenge yourself and do a push-up, feel free. But after our plank to pike, I don't know how much we're going to want to do a push-up in there, but inchworm, walking out, and then we're going to walk our hands back for this one. So inchworm, but just moving our hands out and back. And then after that, for the R, we're going to do a reverse lunge to jump. We are going to alternate here. So stepping back, exhaling, jumping up, and then to the other leg, back and up. So that's going to be the R. And then for the I, we are going to do an inverted hamstring. So this is basically just a single leg Romanian deadlift. So we're going to have our arms out to the side the whole time. We're then going to push our hips back, push your guard away, and then to the other side again, same thing, push your hips back, push your guard away. So that is going to be the I. And then for our T, we're going to do bent over IYTs. So hip width, hips are back, up into our I, our Y, and our T. So, and then finally, like I mentioned in the beginning, we are going to do another staggered squat. It's going to be on the other leg. So we're doing one leg at a time. So using the other one on our other toe, coming down and pressing back up. So that is going to be our whole circuit for today, getting into the theme of our spirits. So we're going to go ahead and warm up with the world's greatest stretch to start. So we're going to go ahead, interlace our fingers, grabbing onto our knee, pulling towards our chest, and stepping back into our reverse lunge. Hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Back leg stays nice and straight. Nice big deep inhale. And exhaling, opening up towards our front leg. Looking past our hand, thumb is facing behind us. Get that nice rotation in. And we're going to exhale, plant outside of our front foot, bringing our back foot a little bit closer and pushing our hips up into our hamstring stretch. And we're going to go ahead and exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So interlace our fingers, grabbing onto our other knee, pulling towards our chest. Goodness. And we're going to go ahead and exhale, step back into our reverse lunge. Hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. Back leg staying nice and straight. Nice big deep inhale. And exhaling, opening up towards the ceiling, looking past our hand. Thumb is facing behind us. And we're going to exhale, planting outside of our front foot. Bring our back foot a little bit closer and push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. And we're going to go ahead and exhale. Bring our feet together. Push your ground away and stand on up. All right. Last part here, we're just going to do a quick couple planks to pikes here. Just get our arms a little bit more warmed up. Coming to the ground. We're going to go ahead and exhale, come up. And back to plank. 2 more. Coming up. And down. And last one. Coming on up. And then we're going to go ahead and walk our hands towards our feet. And rolling up to our standing position. And we are ready to rock and roll. So, as I mentioned, we are going to do 3 rounds. We are going to do 45-15 here, starting off with our staggered squats. 3, 2, 1, and go. So starting with whichever foot you like, we're doing the whole thing on this leg, and then we are going to switch to the other leg at the end. So making sure. Right now, I always say on your toe. If it helps, I generally am a little bit more just on my whole foot, but it does help. So that way we can really make sure that as we stand up, we're only pressing through one leg. So just as if we were doing a regular squat here, coming down, chest is up, pressing through our whole foot. We want to feel it in our glutes and in our quads. 3, 2, 1. All right. For the P, we have plank to pike toe tap. So we're going to be on the ground, hands and toes. 3, 2, 1. So making sure our pelvis is tucked, our shoulder blades are pinched together. We're exhaling, using our core, tapping the opposite toe. Want to make sure that we are, when we're getting ready, right, we screw our hands into the ground so our upper back is flat. We want to make sure our chin is slightly tucked, but it does help to look out in front versus straight down. I know if I look straight down, I have no curve in my neck, and we want about a little bit in between. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have inchworms. Again, I didn't put the push-up in there. If you want to do a push-up, definitely do so. 3, 2, 1. So pushing our hips back, making sure our back is nice and flat as we come to the ground. We don't want to be hunching over, so keeping our shoulder blades pulled back, coming out. Again, you can do a push-up or not. And we are walking our hands back towards our feet today. Just giving us a little bit of an extra workout for our shoulders and our arms by pushing our bodies back up. So I really want us to be working on that today. Again, push up or no push up, whatever feels good. Making sure we're using our legs as we stand up. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, reverse lunge to jump. We are alternating our legs here. So starting at the top of our space. 3, 2, 1. So we're stepping back. Knee comes forward, chest stays over the arch of our front foot. We're jumping up, landing nice and soft, driving our knee up. If jumping is not your thing, go ahead and just drive the knee up. That's actually what I'm going to switch to because today, knock on wood, my knee is feeling better, but I don't want to overdo it to the point where tomorrow it doesn't feel good. So I'm going to just do my knee drive. I don't really want to be jumping and landing just yet. We're making sure we're pushing through our heel, big toe, little toe of our front foot, getting our knee up with our core. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have the inverted hamstring. We are going to be alternating, so our arms are going to stay out the whole time. 3, 2, 1. So we're going to get a nice like shoulder workout here, but sinking into our hips here. So hips come back, pushing the ground away. Making sure that as we come back, you notice my hip is pointed down. We don't want to be open here. Want our hips down. That's going to put all the emphasis into our glutes, which is the main goal of this movement. We want to be nice and tall through our torso, straight back into our leg. But again, if you're starting to struggle with balance, make sure our hips are coming back first versus our chest coming forward. 3, 2, 1. Wonderful. All right, next up, bent over IYTs. And then we have our other leg for the staggered squat. And we're going to do that 2 more times. 3, 2, 1. All right. So feet hip width apart, sinking into our hips once again. So hips come back. We want to squeeze our shoulder blades. So if we act like we have that orange right here, want to bring our shoulder blades down and together. We can even squeeze through your armpit as well. Thumbs are facing up for the I and the Y. So we're here. So at the top, my hands are cut off, but our thumbs are up. We're coming up and out, and then pinkies out, driving with our elbows. So that last one, we're really going to feel in the backs of our shoulders. 3, 2, 1. All right. Great job. Last up here, staggered squat. And then we're going to do our staggered squat wide away on the other leg. 3, 2, 1. All right. So we're doing our other leg. So this is the second S, not to confuse with our first S. So staggered squat, but the other leg. So I'm now doing my left leg. Again, same thing, our butt to our belly button, our back is flat. We're on our other toe, but playing around with your foot placement, whatever feels good. We just want to make sure that our foot is not back here. We should not be doing a staggered squat like that far back. It can be just a little bit further back here. Anything that helps you, remember to only use your one leg. 3, 2, 1. All right. So that was the end of round 1. Top of round 2, we have our original leg for the staggered squat. So this is back to back at the end, but in the beginning, we got a long way. 3, 2, 1. I was going to have us do an alternating staggered squat, but I figured this is going to be a little bit more fun to do it separate on one leg. But I also, again, I'm still experimenting with having more movements. I try to go quick through our warm-up, but I also want to make sure that I'm not going too far over time by adding another movement in every week. So again, we're just playing around with it. I'm still deciding if we're going to spell spirits out again tomorrow or not. You'll have to come to find out. 3, 2, 1. All right. Plank to pike toe tap is next. Because the reason I say we might is Dia de los Muertos is today and tomorrow. Technically, it's also been the last like 4 days. 3, 2, 1. But today and tomorrow are the main days. So I feel like we probably will end up spelling it out tomorrow. But maybe I'll find a different theme with a shorter word that makes more sense. But until then, we're spelling out spirits today because that's what comes out on Halloween and Dia de los Muertos. Told y'all I'd find a theme for us. But if you have any other themes you know of, just let me know. Or that you can think of. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have our inchworms. So again, push up or no push up, whatever feels good for you. 3, 2, 1. But again, wanting to make sure that we are working on our arms. I want us to walk our hands back instead of our legs. On this one too, if you want, if you're not doing a push-up, go ahead and hold at the bottom with that plank for a second or two. Really exhale as we push our hips up. We want to feel that in our core. Great job. Really pushing through our whole foot, feeling that in our legs, our glutes. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, reverse lunge to jump or knee drive, whatever feels better for you today. 3, 2, 1. So stepping back. Exhaling, using our back leg to help our front leg jump up. If you are like me, not jumping. Same thing, but just a little bit less explosive because we are not jumping, but still using our breath. We want to bring it all together. So we want our breath to help us push off, use our glute and our core. Making sure that we step back on our train tracks to help with balance. 3, 2, 1. All right, we have our inverted hamstrings next. And then IYTs, staggered squats. And then we're starting back at the top for our last round with more staggered squats. 3, 2, 1. So arms straight out to the side, thumbs up. We should feel a little bit of that tension in our shoulders by the end. Again, sink into our hip. Inhale, push back. Exhale, push the ground away. Again, making sure when we start, I always like to sink into my hip first. So slight bend in the knee, hips are slightly back. Push our hips back, push the ground away. So like I said last time, our hips are the driver of the movement. We don't want to come forward with our chest. We want to push our hips back and our chest follows. 3, 2, 1. All right. Balance was not there. Next up, bent over IYTs. 3, 2, 1. All right. Pushing our hips back. If we start to feel this in our lower back, we really want to make sure our butt is tucked to our belly button, our core, exhaling it, bringing it together, pushing our hips back. You can even bend your knees a little bit more. Make sure that our glutes are taking the brunt of the movement. If you're really feeling that tension in your back and it doesn't feel good, go ahead, lay flat on the ground face down and do the movement that way. So that will take our back out of it, and you're just going to lift your arms up slightly off the ground. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last part of round 2, our other leg staggered squat. I'm not going to tell you what leg because I let you all decide that. 3, 2, 1. But I will tell you that I started on my right leg. Now it's time for my left leg. And then right after this for round 3, we're going to start with the right leg on my end. I'm not sure what y'all did first. Driving through our heel, big toe, little toe. Again, same checklist. Keeping our core engaged. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. Definitely moving a little bit slower because this was the knee that was not feeling so great the last week. And that's really going to help me personally activate my glutes a little bit more. Really important there. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last round coming on up. We're starting off with our staggered squats on our other leg. Just grab some water real quick. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last round, best round. We're starting with our other leg, or I should say our first leg for our staggered squats. I don't know why I feel that more. My left leg right now. That's where we can play around, right? With our feet positioning, making sure we push through our heel big toe, little toe. I'm actually going to move even slower on this side too. I feel like we all know my right side is a little bit more lagging. I bring that up fairly often. 3, 2, 1. I think sometimes my left leg takes over a little too much. That's how we can see where I tweaked my knee. All right, plank to pike toe taps. 3, 2, 1. Get into our position. Try and make sure we're not going to go too much over time. I feel like I accidentally took a little too long on the warm up. I was too talkative today. My apologies, y'all. Hopefully we'll have enough time for a cool down. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have inchworms. We're done with our plank to pike. We have our inchworms. 3, 2, 1. All right. Walking our hands out. Like I said, you can hold that plank a little bit if you're not doing a push-up. Exhaling, pushing our hips up. I feel like the more I do inchworms, the more tired I get. I don't know about y'all. Walking hands, great job. For this, we're gonna do our reverse lunges. 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay. Done with those. We have reverse lunge to jump or knee drive. 3, 2, 1. All right. Stepping back, powering through. Great job. Using our breath, being explosive. I'm definitely hearing lots of pops in my hips today, which as always is okay as long as it's not painful if you all are feeling the same thing. 3, 2, 1. All right. Done with those. We have our last 3 movements. Inverted hamstring first. 3, 2, 1. All right. Arms are straight out. And we're leading with our hips. Our headlights on our hips are blinding the ground. So as we come down, hips are forward. Right? If you tell if my hands are on my hips, they're pretending to be my headlights. I'm not opening up. We are staying straight down and back. Like I said, it's going to help us really use our glutes, which is the purpose of this movement. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last 2 movements. We have IYTs and then staggered squats. 3, 2, 1. All right. Feet hip width. Exhaling as we exert our muscles and push up with our arms. Making sure, again, we're squeezing either through our armpits and or in the middle of our shoulder blades, but at the bottom part of our shoulder blades, we don't want to be pinching them together like this because then our traps are activated. Want to act like we're pulling with our armpit down and back. 3, 2, 1. All right, last movement of the workout. We have our stagger squat on our second leg. 3, 2, 1. All right, coming down. Going at a pace that feels good for you. After we finish our stagger squat, we're going to do just a quick child's pose with a couple breaths. That's going to help us just reset our nervous system. It's also going to help us really open up our hips and our back and even our arms a little bit, depending on how that feels. That's going to be our cool down because we have time. We don't have time to do figure 4 or anything like that. 3, 2, 1. And that is going to be it for today's circuit. So go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. Like I said, we're going to do some child's pose. We only have like 2 minutes left. So making our way onto our hands and our knees. Bringing our knees a little bit wider than hip width. Go ahead, walk your hands out, forehead, chin, or cheeks to the ground. We're going to do 3 breaths here. So we're inhaling in through our nose, into our bellies. We really want to feel our hips and our back expand. Exhaling through our mouth. Sighing away our tension. Letting our hips and our armpits sink further to the ground. And 1 more breath. And as we finish our exhale, when we're ready, go ahead, give a little bit more weight onto your hands and then to your knees. My legs got a little wider than they probably needed to. See if I can move. Okay, but that's going to be all the time we have for today. So feel free to stay on the ground or you can return to a seated, kneeling, or a standing position. But I hope y'all enjoyed that workout. And thank you for coming. And hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow.